major situations such as this, issues, and how to develop proper action plans on all levels of government working together.
Again, to balance the budget and responding to a need, giving money to the police to spend time in the schools and do prevention is well spent. That should be within their priorities, and I think in many ways it's more useful than, I guess, sometimes getting our speeding tickets, but that's a side issue for most of us. Any kind of thing you can do to reduce the source of many of the crime, which is drugs, is a plus. So the police is one, being in school is a plus, but in the school programs, things can be added to reinforce the impact of drugs onto children at a very young age and create that impact. And in situations of high risk, where the visible minorities or where there's more high-risk environments, again, to have more information provided there. It can be done locally, it doesn't necessarily have to be done through the police.
Thank you, Ernest. Ernest will be the first to answer the next question, and we're moving into the next area, rehabilitation treatment programs. The question is, what strategies does your party have in place to address the problem of substance abuse among society's most disadvantaged?
There's no question, I'm firmly convinced that we have to move into increasing our rehabilitation centers for offenders, especially young offenders that are drug-related offenses. There's not enough, there's not a fraction of the amount of rehabilitation centers available for their need, and those costs, those investments would make a major difference in people not ending up in the jails and so forth. So that funding for those centers is really tremendous savings when you consider the cost of somebody in jail. And number two is if you get some people at a young age off the drugs and then back on track and getting a new image of themselves and recognizing their own self-worth, we have tremendous results. So I've seen it, I've seen the results, I've seen them work. I've worked with about 1,000 children, I've worked with the young adults, and those kinds of programs make a huge difference and impact, and it's a long-term impact.
I believe that no Canadian should be classified as disadvantaged. We should be looking after Canadians first. But when it comes to substance abuse, I believe it's largely on the rise due to the economic state of Alberta. It's really simple. Getting Alberta back to work was probably the first step to slowing down this trend. Depressed and stressed out people tend to turn to substance abuse just to kind of escape reality. That we all know. The People's Party's plan is forcing the construction of pipelines using 9210 Constitution, to reduce corporate taxes and eliminate trade barriers to help get everyone back to work. We also have plans on reducing personal taxes, eliminating the carbon tax, and eliminating supply management, which will make life more affordable for Canadians. I know me personally, I would like to see a few more centers developed nationwide. I spent a stint in Ottawa where I saw the homeless running rampant through downtown Ottawa. It's actually quite alarming, no different than Edmonton or Calgary. We see them on the corner of the street panhandling. I've been talking with a member of my constituency, and he develops homes that are double-wall construction that keep the heat in the winter, cool out, or keep it cool in the summer. Now we could really build some of these properties for some of the homeless, or try to build new centers to help these guys get back on track.
So, substance abuse. It's a huge issue. I toured the Boyle Street Community Services downtown Edmonton. Some people like to call it a safe injection site. I don't believe there is such thing as a safe injection. You're putting drugs in your body, it's not safe. But I do believe in supervised injections because it does have harm reduction capabilities. I'd rather have people injecting themselves with dangerous drugs under the supervision of licensed professionals in a center so that we can prevent people from overdosing on the street or prevent needles from showing up in our communities. Now, I think that every harm reduction center that is built must require wraparound services because too often we're just enabling people to to keep going on drugs, and we need to have something that says, hey, if you want to get off those drugs, we're here to help you, and we're encouraging you to get off those drugs. And so we need to have that strong encouragement. Also, we have thousands of people across this country dying every year from fentanyl overdoses. It is an absolute catastrophe. Children are dying under the age of 18. You know, people are dying, they're taking these drugs, and, you know, the government is not doing enough. Now, I support the Good Samaritan Act, which was introduced by a Liberal MP, which says that if you're helping somebody who's overdosing and you're possessing drugs, you will not be charged when you call the police. And I think that's an important step forward. But we also need to get tough on China and on Russia and on the people who are creating these pill presses that are creating these dangerous drugs. And so with that, you know, we need to take a strong line on these drug dealers.
Greens call for major improvements to our understanding and treatment of addiction and mental health, as well as improved access to treatment. Having to remove oneself from their support system to receive treatment is less than optimal, but it happens thanks to a lack of accessibility throughout our rural areas for healthcare. Along with providing better mental health care for Canadians with addictions, we'd like to see the decriminalization of all drugs, thereby decriminalizing addiction and allowing a better system to treat addiction. Portugal actually tried something very, very exactly like this, and it has proven to be overwhelmingly successful, which is why we think it would be a fantastic idea as well. That way, you're not seeing addicts as criminals, you're not treating them like criminals. We will also be implementing a guaranteed livable income, tuition-free post-secondary, actual universal health care, including pharmacare, etc. And we believe that these benefits, along with an increased sense of community, will benefit Canadians suffering from addiction.
Thank you, Cassie. Our next area, we're moving on to victim impact and support. And Cass will be the first to answer this question. And Ron, if you can give them a minute and a half on this question. Okay. The impact of rural crime goes far past the initial incident. In several communities, victims are repeatedly targeted. They are left feeling unsafe in their own homes and communities, often leaving victims of crime with significant long-term trauma. With an already overstretched and under-resourced healthcare system, what is your party's plan to help in assisting the victims of crime, physically, mentally, and financially?
Again, we're advocating for improved mental health care, which obviously not only applies to offenders, but to all Canadians, including victims of crime. There's nothing worse than feeling unsafe in your own house and on your own property. By implementing universal health care across the board, we're ensuring victims of crime never have to feel burdened financially just to receive the care they need, as well as a guaranteed livable income, which again would help victims financially.
Victims of crime go through a tremendous trauma just through what they've experienced. I think it's absolutely necessary that in the process of rehabilitation, going through that trauma, that we support to help them through that. And that should be provided through the health system. It's just a process, and also it's a chance to feel validated, and the struggles they're going through, they're not abnormal to go through their struggles, and the system is there to support them to get back their lives in order.
Now, for me and my party, for the most part, victims assistance falls under provincial health care. Now, the People's Party's platform is actually to permanently transfer funds to the provincial government using the Canadian GST. Now, the GST value is about $40 billion, and that is equivalent to what the provinces currently get for their healthcare program. Now, under that same program, the provincial government is responsible and accountable to Canadians to provide healthcare. I would be happy to be an advocate to ensuring our provincial government does follow through with their programs. I know personally I support and will advocate for programs to aid Canadians with PTSD That is something I take dearly because my family is such a large military family. Yeah, I've seen the impacts of these conditions, and we just need to do more overall as a country to help out.
You know, in my role as MP, I've had a lot of opportunities to meet with constituents who have been impacted by crime. And I think of a story of a lady who came, she lives on Highway 43 outside of Beauchamp, and she came to my office, she's been robbed several times. And they actually caught the thief because they had put videos up and they were able to catch him. And at court, when this lady was giving her victim's impact statement after the thief had been convicted, the thief's wife showed up to court wearing her jewelry, the stolen jewelry. And she was told she wasn't allowed to mention anything in the victim impact statement. And, you know, there was a restitution ruling so that the criminal had to return the belongings. And basically this woman got a restitution order, and she went into a government office near the courthouse in downtown Edmonton. And the bureaucrat at the office berated her. How dare you try to go after this poor criminal? They probably don't have any money, and you're just trying to take his last $20. And it's just absolutely unacceptable that a bureaucrat would say that to a victim. We need a victim-centric mentality in this country, and I think that police officers should have escorted that lady to the home of that criminal so that they could go through the items that were stolen and that they would be forcibly returned to their rightful owner. We need a country where we stand up for victims, not a country where bureaucrats are treating victims like they're the criminals. It's just a shame.
Thank you, Dave. Now, the fourth question, the final one, and this is really a final summary statement. And Dave will be the first one to speak on this. Could you summarize, in your view, what you see as the most important challenges facing rural crime in Canada, and how do you and your party propose to address them? Dave.
Well, I just want to say to start, thank you so much for coming on here tonight, everyone. It's really important that we participate in this debate on this important issue. And I just want to thank our organizers and all the candidates for being here today. I think the issue that we're facing here it's been quite clear. There's a lack of resources in our area. And it's not just about increasing the amount of money we spend, it's about finding smarter ways to spend that money so that we don't have to put taxpayers in this area, rural taxpayers, don't have to put a massive new bill to provide all these new services. And I think it's also, you know, about focusing on young people. You know, if a young person gets into a life of crime, their crimes will only get larger as they get older. And so we need to intervene at a very young age to get people out of crime. And so I think having this holistic approach will be the most effective. Now, as for me as a member of Parliament in this area, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my private member's bill, McCann's Law. Now, many of you might be familiar with McCann's Law. Lyle Marie McCann of St. Albert, Alberta, went on a road trip back in 2010, and they never returned. And we still don't know where the bodies are. Travis Vader was convicted of their murder. He has never told the families where the bodies are. And I am putting forward a bill that says that you will not be eligible for an early parole until you tell authorities and the families what you did and where the bodies of your victims are. And with that, that is restorative justice. You know, that would give Mr. Vader the peace of knowing that he has helped that family that has suffered for nearly a decade now, not knowing where the remains of their loved one are. And I pledge to return to Parliament, and I pledge to reenact that legislation and get it passed. Thank you.
So, to sum up what the most important challenges facing rural crime in Canada, I'd say, again, a lack of adequate funding and resources in place for rural law enforcement, a lack of social programming to keep Canadians, especially youth and young adults, engaged in our communities, and a lack of mental health care for all Canadians. We need to improve our understanding and treatment of mental health care, especially addictions, as well as properly fund our rural law enforcement agents, and, of course, put more into social services and supports for all Canadians.
Three different things. One would be increasing the technology and again the use of videos and so forth in the rural areas. We have to address the drug question. We have to get it at source, and the younger we get it, the better it is. And as a party, your motion you had there, Dane, and our party as a whole is used as an example of something we would also support. That the consequences, the penalty, the jail term person who is guilty would be increased until the victims are found, and just give clarity to that.
To summarize, for me, the large challenge facing rural crime, just like all the other candidates here tonight, is lack of resources, lack of funding. I believe both the courts and the police need more resources to ensure criminals are convicted and appropriately sentenced. I believe Canadians need to understand they do have the right to defend themselves, and they shouldn't be prosecuted for